Greetings, mighty companions, and welcome back to the Rocky Mountain Miracle Center Sunday Course in Miracles class. Welcome you guys who are here in person. Hi, Julie. Hi, everybody. Coming on in. Come on in. Got all girls here today except for one guy. It's a good thing we're all the same. Okay. So let's just start by taking a couple of minutes, just a couple of minutes to breathe and just let go of our morning, let go of everything that's not happening right here, right now, and just slide into home base of the present moment. And just notice that you are safe right here, right now. And just feel that feeling of noticing and appreciating that you are safe right here, right now. And just remember how that feels. Enjoy the feeling of having no past regret or no future worries. Let's take this moment right now and see it as all there is of time. This is it, right here, right now. The past is gone, and the future has not happened yet. All we have is this moment now. And this moment now is perfect, and it is precious. And this moment now is healing. In this moment now, there is power, creative power. And in this moment now, you remain exactly as you were created by love. You are complete. You are healed and you are whole as you were created. And so we can appreciate that and feel that and experience the healing of that as we allow our minds to just be here, right now, where we are. Let the power of the present moment heal your mind. Let the peace of the present moment restore balance to your body, your communication device. Let the truth, the universal truth that is always present in the present moment, correct your false beliefs, your past learning that was ill-informed. All the love, all the universal truth, all the healing power, all the unity in the universe is here, present, right now, within you, and connecting us to our source, connecting us to each other. It's all here, right now, within you. It's all here for you in the present moment now. So let's open up our hearts and our minds to all the good and all the power and all the joy and all the everlasting life that is here right now within each one of us and connects each one of us to another. Breathe it in. Remember now. Beautiful. Just take another deep breath, allowing that experience to set in your mind, in your memory, in your body. And then when you're ready, open your eyes, yawn and stretch. Wiggle your fingers and your toes, and your adorable little nose. Yes, I said it's adorable. And you can trust my perception. If somebody else's perception of you is more loving than your own, just go with theirs. Go with their perception. It's like, well, your perception is so much more loving than mine right now, so we'll go with yours. Take their word for it. All right, so where we're at today is in chapter 28, section 4, the greater joining. And I did the random number generator this morning. I put in the 3 books of the course, and it picked the Spirit picked the text, and then this chapter, which I've been in this chapter. I mean, literally, I have done all the sections in this chapter within the last month. Like, for some reason, Spirit wants us to be in chapter 27 and 28. Yeah. I'm like, total theme going on. You can always tell your higher self, the program your higher self is working for you, according to the themes you see. Like, oh, there's this theme going on here. And that's how you can tell what Spirit's working with you on, particularly, specifically, at this time.
So the greater joining?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So pay attention to the lesson themes in your life.
What section?
It's section 4. Okay, the greater joining. All right, this is a really beautiful and powerful section that has a lot to say about how to help other people, how to be a loving and healing influence with others around you. How to be a truly healing influence on the people around you. Like, what does it mean to really be helpful? Like, what does it mean to heal others? You know, when it says you're a miracle worker and you're a teacher of love and you're a healer, like, what does that mean? How do you do that? What are the mechanics of being a miracle worker, of being a healer? This talks about the attitudes to take with others when they are sick, so that just by your attitude and your perception, you are being a healing influence on them. It's like how to be with somebody who's sick, body, mind, or spirit, and really actually heal them, you know, help them to heal, and in the meanwhile also healing yourself. Okay? So it talks about how however you respond to their sickness, whether it's mental sickness, emotional sickness, physical sickness, whatever their dis-ease is, however you respond to their dis-ease is literally making your future. Isn't that crazy? So how I respond to this person and their ego, in their dis-ease, however I respond to this, that's going to be my future. That's going to determine whether my dis-ease gets corrected or not. It's like, so it's really important, you know, like the Course in Miracles says, there's no accidental encounters. There are no accidental meetings. If you are meeting with somebody, hello, welcome, come on in. What's your name?
Kate.
Kate, nice to meet you. Is this your first time here?
No, second time.
second time. Wonderful. Well, welcome back. Did you come last week when Matt was here? Wonderful. Well, welcome. I'm Anna. Nice to meet you, Kate. I love it. And we are in chapter 28, section 4, the greater joining. And this is Spirit. She's our little miracle mascot. And apparently she thinks that you're safe. You passed the test. All right. Apparently you are pure of heart, or, you know. Yeah, she can tell. All right. So that's what this section is about. It's a long section, and so we'll just see how far we get. But it's chapter 28, section 4. And if you need some help finding it, just ask somebody around you. They'll help you. Just you can go to the table of contents if you want to. So, okay. All right. So it says, the first line is, accepting the atonement for yourself, which the atonement means the healing plan, okay? So accepting love's healing plan for you, okay? Would you like to accept love's healing plan for you? Okay. It's a plan, by the way, that works. It's nice like that. It's like a plan for my healing that actually works. All right. How novel. Whereas all my plans for healing, they don't work and they cost a lot. Okay. So accepting love's plan for your healing means not to give support to someone's dream of sickness and of death. Okay, so that's what it means when somebody is sick. When somebody is sick, the only way for you to accept your healing is to not to give support to someone else's dream of sickness. So how do you not support somebody's dream of sickness? It's like, what does that mean? You know, it's like, how do I be with this person where I don't make them more sick? And me too. That's typically what we do. That, you know, the way we help each other is not very helpful. It's like, you just made that person more sick. Good job. And you too. So, all right. So he says, don't seek to help people in your own way. You can't even help yourself. Don't seek to heal people in your own way. You can't even heal yourself. So this is saying that the way to accept the healing for yourself is to not support someone else's sickness, which means their dis-ease or their sickness, body, mind, or spirit. Yay! Don't support other people's sickness. Okay, well then how do you help them? You know? And so, what that means is that you don't share their wish to separate. Okay, what does that mean? When in doubt, always just keep reading. The Course in Miracles is always explaining itself. And wherever you see an and, you could say which means. So Course in Miracles is always explaining itself. So if you don't know what one sentence means, just go which means and then say the next sentence. It's always explaining itself because it knows that we don't understand. It's very loving. It's a very, very wise and gentle teacher. And so it says what it means to don't support somebody's sickness is, it means don't let them turn their sicknesses, their problems on themselves. Don't let them turn on themselves. Don't let them use their problem against themselves. Don't let them use their problems to make themselves feel guiltier. Don't let them turn on themselves. Don't let them turn this problem, their sickness, on themselves. Isn't that interesting? Okay, in other words, they're already using the sickness to hurt themselves. They're already doing a fine enough job hurting themselves. Your job, you who want to be healed yourself, is don't let them use this against themselves any longer. So, so instead of going, oh, that must be horrible. Oh my, that must be terrible. Oh my God, that's bad. What's happening? She was just horrible. Let me tell you about something bad that happened to me. That's not helpful. It's like, oh, I take that problem and I'll top that problem. I'll tell you about something horrible that happened to me and my cousin. Okay. That's allowing them to hurt themselves further with their problem or their sickness. Okay? And so you're not gonna let them turn on themselves with their problem, but nor do you wish that their problems or their sickness be turned instead on you. Yay for that. Don't forget that, teachers of love. Just because you're not allowing them to feel guilty for their problem doesn't mean that you also take it on, that you also take on their guilt or their problem. You don't want them to turn their problem on themselves. You also don't want to have them turn their problem on you. It's like, oh, wonderful, I'll just turn my problem on you. Okay. And if you do this, if you'll do this with them, don't let them turn on themselves. Don't let them use this against themselves or you. If you'll do that, then their sickness, their problem will have no effects. Wow, that's pretty powerful. If you don't let them turn it on themselves or you, by you taking the problem on yourself, then their problem, their sickness will have no effects. So you literally make their problem ineffectual, meaning no effects of their problem. Okay? It's like you're neutralizing the problem, You're not letting them feel guilty. You're not letting them turn it on themselves. You're not letting them turn it on you. In other words, I'm not going to let you feel guilty, but I'm also not going to take on any guilt myself either for your problem, even if you're trying to give it to me. Okay? This takes away the effects of their sickness. And then you are free of dreams of pain because you let them be free of their dreams of pain. Isn't it interesting? I let them be free of their dreams of pain. I didn't let them feel guilty. I didn't give them more to feel guilty about. I didn't support their sickness. I didn't support the guilt or the fear. And so and so I let them be free of their dream of pain. And so now I am free of my dream of pain. Hi, Cindy. Welcome. All right. And then it says, we're in paragraph 1, and mine doesn't have sentence numbers here. So it says, in other words, unless you help them be free of their dreams of pain, you will suffer pain with them, because that is your wish, to suffer pain with them if you don't help them to be free of their dream of pain. So how you respond to their dreams of pain. So I love, it's a great description of people's problems or their sickness. It's their dream of pain. And they're going to have a lot of descriptions describing what their problems are, what their sickness is, which is the same as yours. So first definition we're hearing is their dream of sickness, their illusions, their dreams of pain. Okay, how to be with somebody who's experiencing pain and sickness and illusions. Okay, how to be with somebody who's suffering, basically, in such a way that you diminish their suffering and yours at the same time. So whenever you are with somebody who is suffering pain, really you're being given a blessed opportunity to heal your own pain. You know, it's like we think of like, well, I'm going to go to therapy to get my pain healed. And the Course in Miracles is like, well, I'll give you a cheaper option. Just respond to the people around you who are in pain, so many of them, in a different way. And then your dreams of pain will be healed. It is so much cheaper. And you get so much more appreciation. Okay. So like therapy, and I'm not, dissing therapy, I'm a therapist, but I'm just saying, that my job, a good teacher and a good therapist is to give their students and their clients so much of their teaching that the student and client no longer needs them. And literally, if people were to do this work for their healing, then I would be out of a job and I'd be thrilled. I would be so happy. So wherever it is that you are experiencing pain, wherever it is you are suffering in your life right now, you can get healing as quickly and as cheaply as the next person you're around who is also suffering or in pain. And the universe is always going to send you somebody who's suffering like you are in a similar way. It's just the way it is. As a therapist, I see it all the time. I see the matching, oh, right, you have matching wounds. Oh, you're with that person because you have matching wounds. You have matching hurts. Okay? And so this person's your savior because they have a similar wound, to you. And so wherever it is that you're suffering, just be on the lookout for the person who sends you, who is sick, who is suffering. And usually they're not very friendly. They're usually not in a good mood. I mean, who's in a good mood that's suffering? Who's in a good mood that's in pain? So instead of being like, what's wrong with you? You're bumming me out. I was in a great mood till you came along. Instead of that response to someone who is suffering, someone who is suffering is someone who's unfriendly or in a bad mood is someone who's suffering, right? They're not just being that way for the sake of being that way to ruin your day. The truth is that the universe has sent them to you because the universe knows that if you cannot let them feel guilty, that you can be healed of the same kind of suffering that they have going on. So the universe is always sending us our saviors, our healers, our teachers, the perfect person for us to give the release from guilt that we need. And that's where real healing comes from. So, but if you don't want to do that, then you can, go to a therapist. To me. Exactly. All right. Okay. So then it says, unless you help them, you will suffer pain with them, because suffering pain with them is your wish, unless you're helping them. And which means you become a figure in their dream of pain. If you don't help them, you just become another person who hurt them. You just become another person, another figure in their dream of pain, unless you help them. And they just become another figure in your pain dream. And so do you and they both become illusions, which means without identity. So if you're not being helpful to them, and they're not being helpful to you, now you're just illusions. You don't see each other. You don't know who the other person is. You don't know yourself. You just become illusions, which means you lose your identity in that relationship. Okay? And it says, and so you could be anyone or anything depending on whose evil dream you share. You can be sure of just one thing, that you are evil because you're sharing in dreams of fear. So when you share in people's dreams of fear or their dreams of pain or their sickness, then you just become another figure in their dreams of pain who is also not being helpful. That's making the sickness and the pain seem more real. Okay? And it says, and so when you're sharing and joining in somebody's dream of pain, then you're going to not know who you are. You're going to lose your identity. You're not going to know who they are. You're not going to know who you are. And all that you'll be experiencing is that you're just another figure in their evil dream, which is the same thing as saying their dream of pain, their dream of sickness. So we've heard sickness, dream of pain, dream, evil dream, and dreams of pain. So, all right. So the goal here for us to accept our own healing is don't join in and share their dreams of pain, their evil dreams. What's an evil dream? It's like, something happened to me out of the blue. I'm such a victim and something victimized me. That's an evil dream, wouldn't you say? Just something happened to you and you're just a helpless victim, okay? So it's reminding us that what we don't want to do for our own healing is don't agree with them, don't join and share in their dream of pain, their evil dream, that they're guilty, that they're a victim, that they're helpless, that they're wrong, etc., etc. Okay? When somebody is suffering, they are feeling like a victim. Okay? And so if you are to go, that's right, man, this is a cruel world. I mean, people just suck. You are making their dream, their pain dream worse. We think that empathizing, we think healing means I join in your suffering in order to lighten it. We think healing somebody and empathizing with somebody is we agree with them about what a victim they are and how life sucks and how people suck. We think that's how we heal people. We go, I know, girl, people just are mean. Let me tell you about something that happened to me. So we are literally making their dream of pain worse. Okay. It doesn't mean that you go, now, honey, you know you're not a victim. Why'd you ask for that? Don't do that either. Don't do that either.
Can you show what is it practice?
Yes.
So for example,
Yes.
I come to you and I say,
Yes.
oh, I'm feeling so
Yes.
bad, I'm depressed, I feel pain here. What is your attitude? What I have to do?
Yes. I might say something like, well, let's remember you're entitled to miracles. You know, let's join in asking for a miracle of healing of that right now. You know, or something like that, you know, where I'm not agreeing that, oh yeah, getting old is horrible. Me too. Right. I may, thank you for sharing and say, let's ask for a miracle of healing right now, or oh yeah, the Course in Miracles teaches us that the correct use of the body and the healing of the body is to remember that we're not a body. So let's join in remembering today that we are not these bodies.
Or sometimes you didn't say, don't say anything. Just
Exactly, or not.
I love you.
Exactly.
You're perfect.
Exactly.
I'm strong. You're strong.
Exactly. Something that is positive and loving. Yeah. Did you raise your hand?
I think a real common one is because we got to remember that the ego has all these little booby traps all over, and you come to me and you say, "Did you watch the debates last night?" No matter who's talking, doesn't matter. But you're getting ready to give some guilt to somebody in the story. The teacher of God recognizes that, and they recognize you're doing that is going to bring you pain or bring something punishing back to you. So why would I want to drink the same soup So try to, but as Anna and I try to practice a lot is, don't try to come up with the answer yourself. There's where the trick is you know, Spirit, how should I, as they're talking,
Thank you, exactly.
Spirit,
That's
how
right.
should I respond to this?
Mm-hmm.
And go with that.
Yeah.
But you know the response isn't to join them in giving guilt out, because now I'm asking for sickness too.
Right.
But that seems to be a common one, you know. Let's join together, like Anna says, I'll be your friend if we both join together in condemning this other person.
Yes,
Giving them
exactly.
guilt, putting them down, you know, comparison.
That's right, exactly. Thank you for sharing that. Exactly. The Course in Miracles says that the ego, what was it saying about, the ego believes that anger makes friends. So when somebody comes to us and they're angry, which is just another word for sickness, right? Because what comes from anger? Anything good? Sickness, body, mind, or spirit. And so when somebody comes to us and they're angry, you know, if we join in them and go, oh my God, that is terrible that with that person, you should be angry. We've just joined, we've just shared their evil dream. We've just shared their dream of pain. Okay? We've just joined in the anger. We've joined it, thinking that that's being a good friend. You know? So whatever way where we're not joining in the anger, or we're not supporting the guilt, we're not supporting them feeling guilty, we're not joining in their grievance, we're not supporting that idea that they are a victim of the world they see, we're not joining in the idea that they are their body and limited to and by their body. And thank you for reminding me that when they're complaining or they're sharing their dream of pain, you know, they're confessing their dream of pain. They did this, or they did that, this happened. That the first thing we want to do is we want to remember our purpose, which is to not share in their dream of sickness, but to share in truth. And then we ask our higher self, what would you have me say? What would you have me say to this person, Spirit? I know you love this person. You know, I don't know the best thing to say, but you do. And I'm willing that you use me for this person so that I can be helpful in ending their dream of pain and mine too. And usually when people are complaining, they give you a lot of time. You know, it's like you could sit there and be asking that prayer for a long time, because when people are complaining, they tend to be kind of verbose, right? So, because most people's grievances have a lot of history. And so, and oh, I gotta tell you the part, 20 years back, most grievances go way back. So while they're describing or confessing their dream of pain, their sickness, their problem, you are asking your higher self and theirs, what would be the most healing, positive way to respond to them that would truly be helpful instead of making them sicker? Yes.
One of my survival techniques. Oh yeah, sure.
So, all right, one of her survival techniques.
So now I'm becoming aware, okay, delusions and everything, that when somebody is just letting it all out, well now I just say I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Yeah, because I want to validate the pain that they're feeling, but in my mind, I'm saying this isn't true.
That's very good. Beautiful. Beautiful.
And then I listen, and then I just say, okay, maybe I can figure this out when I'm in my meditation. And what should I have said? But for right now, It's just, I don't know, I feel like it's important to just validate them as a human.
I totally agree, you know.
And, then, yeah, I'll figure it out later. And,
Yeah.
Maybe in 40 years, I haven't figured out.
That's right.
Know what to say.
Yeah, I let people, when people share their dreams of pain with me, very often the first thing I do is I just tell them thank you for taking the risk to share that. You know, and that if that's sincere, you know, thank you for trusting me with that. Thank you for taking the risk to share that. And then I'm asking Spirit to communicate through me. And then I look, while they're sharing, I look for what strengths in them that I perceive that I can join with. What strengths I see in them. What I look for, what they're sharing that's good, meaning that's true and loving. As they share, I'm listening for what they've done that was loving and good, you know, in the midst of whatever mistakes their ego is making. And I acknowledge those and I celebrate their strength. So I join with their strength. I join with their innocence. I join with the fact that they're entitled to miracles. Now, maybe that comes through words, maybe it doesn't. It doesn't matter, you know, because so often when people are sharing their dream of pain, their sickness, you'll notice that they aren't very thrilled. They're not always thrilled to hear that they're entitled to miracles. You know, they don't, very often it takes a while for people, like when they're sharing their dream of pain and you're like, oh, I thank you for sharing that. You know, it's a good thing that we're all entitled to miracles or something like that. Very often they're so invested in their story and in their pain that they don't appreciate it when you go, oh, well, let's ask for a miracle, or, you know, they don't jump. It says those who have been bound in chains of guilt and sickness for years don't leap up in joy the instant they are made free. So sometimes it may be that you are having to say that to them silently. And because our minds are joined, it's still having the exact same effect, but without their resistance. If they're still getting something of value to them from their dream of pain, then when you tell them the truth, which could release them, they're like, yes, but, or don't give me that spiritual mumbo jumbo. And I'm like, okay, you're welcome. Yes.
No, I like that because I started the course like years ago, and then like I put it down because of that. Like I had to work through some trauma and some stuff. And now it's easier to hear that stuff.
Right.
They're entitled to miracles.
That's right.
I went to a therapist and they said that right away.
Yes.
When I was dealing with childhood trauma, it would be hard.
That's right.
It would be. I really like the way that you're talking about it. The awareness, but that you can do it silently.
Absolutely.
I really like that.
Exactly. And ultimately, if they feel safe sharing with you their grievance, and you're not joining in their guilt or their anger or their shame or whatever, then you are being a healing presence. Like all this is saying, it didn't say these words. It says, don't let them give themselves any more guilt than they've already given themselves. So even if you're just a loving presence who's not joining in the grievance or the pain, you know, or the guilt, you are providing, you are being a healer to them and to yourself. So that's the main thing. Don't let them turn their guilt, don't let them turn their illusion, their problem on themselves, you know. So, okay, beautiful. I love it. Trisha says, oh, now you tell me. She goes, oops. That's funny. Well, actually, I've been telling you. Yes.
I just wanted to say, in my journey, I find that it's at lesson 185. You have to know what you're letting go of. So when you're in the midst of doing inner child work, you have to know what you're. It's not like you want it to be. You don't want to give it a seat at the table, but you have to know.
You got to look at it. If you want to let go of pain, you got to look at it. Any problem that you're done with, you got to look at it. And so that's one of the wonderful values of therapy, or being with a friend who, will give you the safe space to look at that pain, to express that pain without you making that pain more real, without you joining in that pain. Right? So, that's a real gift, and it the healing doesn't come from pretending that you're not having a dream of pain. That's not what healing is. Not like, I'm perfect, I'm enlightened, when really you have pain, where you're experiencing some kind of sickness. It's about acknowledging that, looking at it, as the Course says, and bringing it to the truth. Bringing it, it's like, I'm going to look at it, oh my God, I'm hurting, or this happened to me and it hurt, it still hurts. So it's looking at it and then bringing it to the truth, and sometimes, and so we, as miracle workers, healers, and teachers, we are the ones that will stand for the truth. And sometimes we do that silently, and sometimes we do it with words, and in accordance with Spirit, who is directing us. That's our job. Our job as teachers and healers is to refer everything to Spirit, not to try to solve their problems in our way, but to refer and to be with others in this new way, where we are not joining in their suffering with the idea of lightening it. We are standing for and representing the truth, which means we are being a presence of no guilt. We're not joining with them in their anger or their guilt. And just that is healing. So,
you
yes.
said before that we'll often attract someone with a similar hurt, and so that would be what I'm hearing is giving and receiving are the same thing. So I could say to them, where is this in me,
yes.
in my life?
Very good.
Instead of seeing them and judging them.
That's
and
right.
Really experiencing that.
Yes. Absolutely. It's a beautiful way to do exactly what it's just saying here. Instead of listening what their problem is, you're listening for, what is this showing me within myself? What is this reminding me of in myself that needs healing? And in that way, we're grateful to them. They're sharing their problem or their pain, but we're feeling grateful to them. And just our feeling of gratitude to them is healing also. So, yeah, beautiful. Okay, well, that was one paragraph. Is it time for the end of class yet? We literally, there's like this portal, there's like this time portal, and when we get together, we start studying, and where it's like, an hour seems like 5 minutes. Yeah.
That's called the collapse of time.
That's it. Miracles collapse time. And miracles collapse time, so that, what was an hour and a half, you're like, it's over already? Miracles. And what is a miracle? Right thoughts. What is a miracle? Right thinking. So when you are right thinking, when you're thinking right thoughts, meaning true thoughts, it collapses time, meaning it saves you time. Anybody would like to save time? You know, so knows the older you get, the more time you'd like to save, the more time that he's like, I don't want to waste any more time. I used to be that I thought I had all the time in the world. All right. Okay. So paragraph number 2. So there is a way of finding certainty right here and now. So certainty to me means freedom from doubt. Okay, you know all that freedom, you know all that self-doubt we have. Am I okay? Am I doing the right thing? Is something wrong with me? All the self-doubt we have. There's a way of finding certainty, which means release from self-doubt right here and right now. How do we do that? Right here, right now. It goes like this. Refuse to be a part of fearful dreams, whatever form they take. Because you will lose identity in those fearful dreams that you're taking a part in. So in other words, you find yourself by not accepting their fearful dreams as causing you. So what does it mean to refuse to take part in their fearful dream, and what does it mean to not accept their problems as causing me? Well, notice how we respond to people's problems. We tend to take them personal. When somebody's upset, when they're going through something, we tend to personalize them. Instead of going, oh, this is their call for love. It doesn't have anything to do with me, you know, even though they're projecting it onto me and they're telling me it's my fault. But that doesn't mean I have to see their problem as causing me. It's like Greg and I talk about this, you know, when you're having an issue with somebody else, when you are reacting negatively to whatever they're projecting on you or whatever they're going through, when you are reacting negatively to them, you are acting like they are your creator, right? When somebody is not perceiving you correctly and you think that they're not treating you right and you're upset about that, you are acting literally like they have caused you, like they're your creator. But if they're not the one who created you, they're not the author of your reality, so why are you so upset about their misperception? So when we're angry at people, we're acting like they're God and that they caused us. Isn't that interesting? So to not share in somebody's dream of fear or pain means to remember that they did not create you and their problem did not create you, which means you are not responsible for that. Does that make sense? Isn't that interesting? You know how we take people's egos and problems and projections so personal. The truth is, when somebody is upset, it truly is not personal to you. Literally, they are suffering from their own misinterpretation. You know, it's not about you. If somebody's unhappy, it's because of what they are believing, what they are telling themselves. It really isn't about you. Even if they're saying this is about you. Even if they're saying this is your fault. Which miserable people always say. Isn't that what miserable people always say? It's your fault. And the second that a miserable person says, I wonder if I'm doing this to myself again, then now they pop out of their misery. So misery and projection go together. In the moment when a miserable person says, maybe I'm doing this to myself, then they pop out. And then now the solution to their problem is right there. So the Course says that the sick are merciless to everyone. So people who are sick, body, mind, or spirit, are not very friendly. They are merciless to people. They're mean. You know, and we're like, that person is really mean. That person is really cruel. Wow, that person's an a-hole. What, golly. not realizing that that person is sick, body, mind, or spirit. They're suffering. But what we do, instead of going, oh, poor dear, they are calling for love, they're having an illusion in their mind. What we do is we personalize it and go, well, what did I do to you? And then we defend ourselves, right? And so what happens then? Now their sickness is now my sickness, because I just personalized it. I see their problem as causing me. I personalize it. Now I'm going to defend myself against that. And now I'm sick. Now I'm upset. Now I'm angry, which makes me sick. So you can see what I was saying, how you respond to their calls for love, how you respond to their sickness is determining whether your sicknesses are healed. So don't take it personal. They did not create you. They are not your creator. So there's no reason why you need to take anything personal. It's not personal. Their upset is not personal. Your upset is personal. So it's teaching us how to truly be healing for them. Okay, even when they're blaming it on us. Which, like we said, miserable people do that. People who want to keep their sickness, they blame it on others. That's how you keep your sickness. You want to keep this upset, just blame it on somebody else, and honey, you will keep it as long as you want. All right, so don't react like their problem has caused you. Because if you react to their sickness as if it's personal to you, then you are sharing their illusion of their dream of pain and making the dream of pain more real to both of you. Not that it is real, but you will think it is. Okay. And then it says, you stand apart from their sickness, but not apart from them who is sick. I'm not part of their problem. That does not have anything to do with me, but I am one with them. So, of course, it's teaching us how to separate their sickness from them. That's a way to be a healer for them. When you're with them and you, instead of seeing their sickness or their ego as them or as you, you're like, that person just has an illusion in their mind, but that's not who they are. This person is just like me. They have an ego just like me, but they're not their ego. And when you see that and you make that separation while you're being with them or thinking about them, you are literally healing them and you just by seeing them as not their ego. Just remembering they're not that problem. They're not their ego. Just like me. That is healing. Very healing. That's what I want people to do with me when I am suffering and I'm sick in any shape or form. I don't want people to see me as my sickness. I don't want people to be like, well, that's just how she is. You know how she is. That's just her. I don't want somebody to do that to me. I don't want somebody to see me as my sickness, as my problem, And so if I don't want people to see me, if I want people to make a distinction between me and my ego, then I have to do that for others. I have to remember they are not their ego. They are not their ego. They have an ego, just like me, but they are not their ego. The Course calls it separating the dreamer from the dream. And just you having that perception is healing for both of you. And you don't have to be together for this correct perception to heal. Because why? Because minds are joined. So you could have this from somebody who's across the world. You could do this joining with somebody who's not even in their body anymore. And they will experience healing and you will too. All right. So he says, in this way you separate the dreamer from the dream and you join in one, the dreamer, but you let the other go. So you're going to join with the person and the dreamer, and you're going to let their dream go. You're going to join with the dreamer and let their dream go. So I'm going to join with you, and I'm going to let your sickness go, instead of seeing you as your sickness and then join with your sickness. Okay? This is how we heal ourselves, by being healing with others. The dream that their dream of pain is but illusion in their mind. So the dream is but illusion in the mind. So we say this about them. Their problem is just an illusion in their mind. It's not who they are. It's just an illusion in their mind. And with their mind, I want to unite. But I don't want to unite with their problem. With them, I want to unite, them, the mind. But I don't want to unite with their problem. But I do want to unite with them, their mind. And that is how we can be with them in the most healing way that not only heals them, but us right along with them. Separate them from their problem, join with their mind, and let their problem go, let the sickness go. It says, it is the dream you fear. What's the dream? The illusion in their mind. It's not their mind. It's not their problem you fear. It is their problem that you fear. It's not their mind. So I'm upset not with them, the mind. I'm upset, I'm afraid of their problem. In other words, or ego. What is it? It says, it is their ego you fear and not their mind. So I'm not upset with them, the mind. I'm afraid of their ego. And if I can remember they are not their ego, then I can join with their mind and let their ego go. It's the most incredible, miraculous, seemingly magic thing, where you can be with somebody and they're really suffering. Their pain, their dream pain is really real, and they're really suffering. And just being with them, remembering this, they are not their problem, they are not their ego. This problem is just an illusion in their mind, but it's not who they are. And then joining with their mind, literally, miraculous magic can happen where they literally go from profoundly upset to just like, wow, that's weird. I was completely in hell, and then now I feel fine. Just like that. Miracles, you know? So, because remember, this process, this healing process, remember what it said. It undoes all the effects of the sickness. So it's like the effects disappear like that, and you go, that's weird. And then Course in Miracles goes, no, that's a miracle. That's weird. No, that's a miracle. It looks like magic, but it's how miracles work. That's what a miracle is, where what you thought was impossible one moment happens in the next. Okay, just because you saw correctly. That's the power of vision. You can see something correctly in one instant and change the world in the next. That's how powerful correct perception is. That's why the Course in Miracles calls miracles correct perception. You can see things correctly in one instant and change that sickness in the next. So, and that's why the Course in Miracles calls us miracle workers. We are miracle workers. This is how we work miracles. All right. So then it says, right, it is their ego you fear and not their mind. You see their ego and their mind as the same because you think that you are but your ego. You see them and their ego as the same because you see yourself and your ego as the same. So that's what we're learning in ourselves. I have an ego, but I'm not my ego. Okay? And that's an extremely, extremely powerful healing perception. When you are in your ego, to go, I have an ego, this is coming from my ego, but I am not my ego. I'm having this problem, but I'm not this problem. Okay? But in order to finally get that I am not my ego, I have to be willing to see that in other people when they're in their ego. And that's the challenge, because when other people are in their ego, sometimes it's a little hard to see that they are not their ego. Right? Yeah, sometimes it just seems easier to agree with them that they are their ego. I agree with you. You are your ego. But the goal is that when I am in my ego, or when I have been mistaken, when I make a mistake, I want to get to the point where when I make a mistake, I don't guilt trip myself. You know, I don't want to, every time I make a mistake, I just beat myself over the head with the guilt sledgehammer. I want to be able to go, oh, I made a mistake. Oh, well, thank God I'm not my ego. You know, that was just my ego. That wasn't me. I want to be able to do that. But I can't do that with myself unless I do it with others. So this is what we're doing with others, to ostensibly to heal them, but it's really healing ourselves. So it says, I am confusing them with their ego because I have confused myself with my ego. And now that I've confused myself and them with the ego, now what is real and what is but illusion in myself, I do not know and cannot tell apart. Since I'm not telling them apart from their ego, now I can't tell me and my ego apart. So now I'm just gonna feel bad. Now I'm sick too. I saw them as their ego, and now I see me as my ego. Now I'm sick too. All right. Yes.
Which means that problem that was coming tomorrow morning, which could have been solved by me responding correctly now, is going to remain being a problem. A sickness.
Exactly.
An issue.
Exactly.
A punishment.
Yep. We're always, you can always tell what's going to happen in the future. So we're all very psychic. You can tell exactly what's coming for you next by what you're giving to another right now. So it's like, oh, we're all psychic. Or psycho, right, exactly. Exactly. How are you responding to this person's ego who's right in front of you, or who you're thinking of? How are you responding to their ego? Well, however you're responding to their ego in the moment is going to be your future. It's like, whoa, okay, that's motivating. And so, if you are being this way with others and not confusing them with their ego, which is a loving perspective, then you don't need to be anxious about your future anymore. If you are being loving and you are not confusing people with their ego, then you don't have to be anxious. You don't have to worry that your future is going to be worse or bad. Because you are making your future in every choice you are making right now, and how you are being, how you are responding and seeing other people. Isn't that deep?
Amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
Beautiful.
And we all suffer from future anxiety. We're all suffering like, oh, what's going to happen? Oh my God, the future's going to be worse than the past. We all suffer with anxiety around what's going to happen in the future. And will I be prepared? Will I be able to handle it? Well, if you're giving love right now, is going to be great. And if you're giving love right now, then you can be sure that if you make a mistake, you can be sure that it will be lovingly corrected for you. And so it's the best future insurance that you could have, and the cheapest. Where can you get insurance that's cheaper than that? Nowhere. Really, literally nowhere.
My ego, I just always used to tell me, if you don't watch the news, it's going to get worse.
Oh, that's right. Uh-huh.
I would watch it.
That's right. You're like, oh my God, I was right. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Our perceptions are self-fulfilling prophecies. Yeah, exactly. So watch your thoughts. The Course in Miracles says, watch your thoughts. You know, stalk your thoughts. Because your thoughts are what's creating your experience. It's what's creating your future. You know, it's what's creating your experience, your thoughts. You know, so, and we, in this case, we want to be very, it's asking us, teaching us how to have true and loving thoughts related to other people's sicknesses. You know, and it's very important because it's determining your level of health versus sickness. And it's determining your future. Wow, I know. This Course in Miracles is a trip, huh? I've been studying this for almost 40 years, and still I feel like every day it's like, like it's the first time I'm looking at it. Still feels like that. That's how deep it is.
You think if you study it for all these years, you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
that comes up is a different, you gotta
Exactly. That's right. Exactly. And we've been believing the lie. We've been brainwashed for so long with sin and guilt and fear that literally it takes a lot. It takes time with these ideas for it to like make it through all those layers of the brainwashing, the programming that's been so deep for so long. And if you believe in reincarnation, it's been a long time that we've been asleep, you know. A long time that we've been asleep. The Course in Miracles says that the separation occurred over billions of years, and that the awakening may occur over a similarly long time. But it does also say, and I love this, it literally says this, this is a quote. It says, every teacher of God saves the world 1,000 years as even we judge time. Every one of us who is working as a miracle worker saves humanity 1,000 years. Dang, you're important. You are needed. You are important. You know, humanity really, really needs you. And so we do a little bit of practicing, and it just saves thousands of years of suffering for humanity, for all of creation. That's a pretty good deal. I do a little bit of practice with something I don't believe, and then all of humanity gets saved thousands of years. Wow, that sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? That's the hardest thing with the Course in Miracles. It just seems too good to be true. And so we're like, you know how many times you've said no to love because it just seems too good to be true? Well, we're doing the same thing with the Course. We're like, no, that seems too good to be true. And then we don't take it seriously. We don't use it.
Would you tell that lady we went to a festival concert last night, forgive me now?
Yes, I was talking to this lady that we just met, and we were talking about, she was talking about this boyfriend that she was hoping that she would never meet again in her next lifetime. Or she was saying, if I meet him in my next lifetime, I hope he's nice. I hope he's nicer. And I said, I'd never met her before. I don't know what she knows at all. I just said, well, there's a way to guarantee that if you do meet him again, he will be nicer. And that is to forgive him now. And she was like, and I said, I said, like a dear friend of mine used to always say, forgive me now or meet me later. And she was like, I don't want to meet him later. I go, well, there's only one way to do that. The only one way to not meet that guy later. Or if you do meet him later, he's nice. You know? And she was like, okay. She goes, oh, well, I've forgiven him. I just don't ever want to see him again. I said, those are two different things. So,
He doesn't deserve it, but you do.
right, exactly, right, exactly. But it's kind of like what we were talking about, like whatever you're doing besides this, you know, what the process this is talking about, that's forgiveness. This is forgiveness right here. That's what forgiveness means, you know, and if you're not going to do this, then you're actually going to be joining with them in sickness. And then the dream of sickness, now you'll both share and it's going to get stronger, and you've just put it in your future. So if you don't see correctly now, if you don't forgive right now and see that person as not their ego, then you are going to meet them again in another form later. Why? Because the universe wants you to be free of what is hurting you. And what is hurting you is your grievances. What's hurting you is your misperceptions that you are a victim and that other people are causing you. Like I was saying, you know, those beliefs are hurting us. And so the universe wants us to be free from that. So the universe, God, is always bringing us the people who have the same mistake, the same wound, so that we can, you know, see them correctly, forgive them so that we can be free. That's why you're always going to meet again someone that you haven't forgiven until you forgive them and yourself. So forgive them now or meet them later. It's your choice. You're like, I'm motivated. Let that motivate you. It's all a question of motivation. You know, what I'm willing to do relative to this is all a matter of motivation. When I really see that seeing them correctly and seeing them lovingly is going to be good for me, then I'm going to be the most altruistic, loving, forgiving person on the planet. When I see that it benefits me. The miracle workers are generous out of self-interest at first. At first, you become loving and forgiving out of self-interest. Because you get, finally, studying this, that it's gonna free you. And then later, you're just loving because it feels so damn good, and it makes such beautiful rewards and miracles in your life. But first, you do it out of self-interest. Yes?
Something you said last time I heard this, which was like 6 months ago, I had it written down. No, maybe more than, okay, whatever. You said, and I like this, I'm looking at it going, okay. They are not their story, which is
beautiful.
You said, we
Beautiful.
are one mind.
Mm-hmm.
Don't join them in their suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And we are brothers and we are equals.
Beautiful. You got it. You got it. Yes, I love it. Good job. Way to love yourself by writing something down. Yeah. And so, tailing on that, the next paragraph talks further about how to see them in a true way that heals you both. Okay. Here's the true way, healing way to see them. Okay. This person who is experiencing sickness, body, mind, or spirit. Like you, this person thinks that they are their ego. Okay. So it says, like you, that your brother thinks they are a dream. So like you, this person thinks they are their ego. They think they are their problem. Don't share in their illusion of themselves, because your identity depends on their reality. So instead of seeing them as their ego, how should I think of them? You should think of them rather as a mind in which illusions still persist, but as a mind which is brother, which means equal to you. Course in Miracles defines brother as equal. Okay? So that's how you should think of them. Instead of agreeing with them that they are their ego, think of them as a mind in which illusions still persist, but as a mind which is equal to you. They are not equal to you made by what they dream. They're not equal to you made by their ego, nor is their body, hero of the dream, your brother or sister, your equal. So they're your equal, not by the body or their ego, but in their mind. Their mind is equal. Their mind is equal to you. The truth is that your mind and their mind are joined in brotherhood, which means equality. That's the truth. They are not their ego. They are just a mind that has an ego in their mind just like you. And it's not their ego that's equal with you or one with you. It's their mind. And the truth is that our minds are joined in brotherhood. We are siblings. This is my brother. This is my sister. We are joined. Our minds, not our bodies, not our egos, our minds are joined in equality, in brotherhood, in sisterhood. Their body and their dreams but seem to make a little gap between you two, where your body and your dreams have joined with his. So our minds are joined in brotherhood, in sisterhood. Okay, that's the truth. It only seems like there's a gap between our minds because of the body. The body that we're in makes it look like there's a gap between me and you, right? Doesn't it look like, because of our bodies, it looks like there's a gap between me and you, okay? But just because the bodies make it appear like there's a gap between us, the truth is that our minds are joined in brotherhood, in familyhood. And this is how it's saying to think about them. When someone is sick, instead of joining with their problem or their ego and seeing them as their ego or their problem like they do themselves, you're going to think of them as a mind in which illusions still persist, like yours, but a mind, nonetheless, that is one with you. This is my brother. This is my sister. And we are equals. Okay? And in other words, we're not separate. This is the way to think of them in your mind when you are perceiving their sickness. Okay? Now, remember, this does not entail saying a word. This doesn't entail seeing them correctly is the miracle. It has nothing to do with the words you say. You know, and don't say any words until you have asked Spirit, until you have asked Spirit to be in charge of what you say to them. But seeing them like this is essentially what is the healing of their sickness and yours right along with them. Okay, questions or comments on that?
It reminds me of the Course talking about or running around like little children with scissors. And when you see somebody sick, they're giving out guilt.
Yes.
To recognize a child, you know, with some little scissors, and you need to safely take those away from them.
Beautiful.
Without harming them or harming yourself in the process.
It's a perfect metaphor. That's a perfect metaphor for helping others who are sick, body, mind, or spirit, to not make themselves more sick. You know, to see them as a child that's running with scissors. That's a perfect metaphor. And how would you be with a child who's running with scissors? You would be like, oh, you know, you would be like, you would gently try to take those scissors from that child, right?
Not hand them another pair with them.
Not hand another pair of the scissors. Or smack them upside the head. Child's running with scissors and then you hit them, you know. Okay. Right, exactly. And what do children do when you take away their scissors?
They did what they did yesterday to us. They kept, a lot of times, Anna, truth would just come out of her mouth, and then they would just like, and half the times they would walk off though.
And then they go,
They don't know how to respond.
and then they turn and walk away. Exactly, but it's like you've planted a seed, but yeah, so, when the Course in Miracles says that the definition of children are those who don't have their own sense of self-preservation. That's one of the Course in Miracles definition of a child. Someone who doesn't have their own sense of self-preservation. Like a little child running with the scissors, running with a knife. And that's us. We're children that are running with scissors, and the scissors are our grievances. And so when someone comes to you and they're telling you their grievance, you're like, let me tell you what they did to me. Can you believe that? That's a child running with some scissors. Just like Greg was saying, it's their grievances that are making them sick. They don't realize it. They do not realize that the grievance that they're sharing with you is what's making them sick. They have no idea. And so are you going to agree with their grievance and make them sicker? Or are you going to do something else where you don't share their grievance? You don't agree with them in their grievance as a way to help them. But like we said, a lot of times, if you don't agree with someone's grievance, it's like taking scissors away from a child. And then they'll be like, I thought you were my friend. I'm telling you my grievance, and you're not joining in my grievance against that person. I'm going to go talk to somebody else. Somebody who will not only let me run with scissors, but they'll give me another pair of scissors. If you agree with somebody in their grievance and you support their grievance, you literally just gave them another pair of scissors to run around with and hurt themselves.
And you ran off yourself with your own pair of
scissors. And then you just manifested your own pair of scissors. And then running with scissors going, boy, am I smart. All right. Well, why don't we stop there for today? That's plenty enough, don't you think? My ego's like, yes, that's plenty enough for today. Yeah, you've done enough good for one afternoon, says my ego. All right. So let's do our love offering. So that will you pass around the basket, our love offering, and thank you for being here. I love it. Tony Lucky Winston says, preach, sister, I am not responsible for anyone's unhappiness. Truly, that alone will revolutionize all of our relationships. For real. Yes. Yes.
Julie, you said about Anna said it, and you were saying it back?
No, and I wrote it down for the last 6 months ago.
Oh.
I can let you copy it.
And so I wanted to tell you guys that that I do an in-person class here every Monday, 7 p.m. So I just want you to know that there's another one. On the Sunday classes, me and Matt Radcliffe are doing it successively. So I'm basically here every other Sunday, unless Matt and I are, unless something comes up. So feel free to come out on Mondays, 7 p.m. here. Also, Greg and I do a Transforming Relationships Through A Course in Miracles Facebook live stream class every Sunday evening at 7 p.m. And in this class, we let Spirit choose what section that we're doing, and then we apply whatever is in that section to our relationship live, and also to whatever relationships that we've got going on. So it's live application. It's live relationship application. It's what I call real reality TV. You can live on the worldly TV, worldwide TV, watch Greg and I heal our relationship with A Course in Miracles. I mean, I don't personally see any other classes like that going on where two people are like, let's apply this to our relationship live, where the broadcast is going around the world. It's, it's very brave. But Greg and I are watching in real time it transform our relationship to something that even we are like pinching ourselves. All these years later, we're like, wow. And we know that the miraculousness of our relationship is because we are applying these ideas to our relationship, and helping other people to do the same. So it's I think it's a really valuable thing. I know it's incredibly valuable for us. If you can't watch it live, then you can go to my YouTube channel, and all my classes, this class, all my classes, I then transfer to my YouTube channel. So you can watch it anytime on my YouTube channel for free. Okay, what a deal. What a deal. Complete release from future anxiety for free. Okay. 7 p.m. on my Facebook channel. All right. You mean for my YouTube channel? It's still Kujawa, Kujawa. But I haven't changed it yet. I don't know how to change my name on my YouTube channel yet. I know it seems so simple, but so my new married name is Quinn. So I'm still working on that. Help somebody. How do I change my name on YouTube? You may not change your name. Okay. So that's all for announcements. We're going to have some refreshments after class, so feel free to come back to the kitchen. We'll have some cheese and crackers and hummus and stuff like that for a little snack. I know my ego's always hungry after a course class. I don't know about you. My ego's just like, I'm hungry. Feed me. So, all right. Now we're going to just do a 2-minute integration meditation, where we're going to take the ideas and just apply them. All right. So I want you to take a breath and close your eyes. Just notice how you feel right now. How does it feel to have heard the truth today in the company of other mighty companions who also want to let their minds be healed by the truth? How's that feel? We want to remember, we want to take note of how it feels when we allow ourselves to listen to the truth. Because we want to teach ourselves and to learn that truth heals us. Truth heals us. Only the truth can be said to cure. And we want to make that association. Truth makes me feel better. Truth is comforting. Truth heals me. Truth comforts me. We want to make that, we want to learn and accept that association, so that next time we are experiencing sickness, body, mind, or spirit, that we go to the truth instead of to past remedies that never worked. Beautiful. Now, I want you to bring to your awareness a relationship that you are in with somebody who is manifesting sickness in some way, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. Somebody that you are in relationship with who is currently experiencing some form of sickness or dis-ease, body, mind, or spirit. I want you to see them in your mind's eye. And I want you to hear them telling you of their sickness, whether it's a physical sickness or a grievance or a hurt or past pain or some dream of pain. You know the story well. And then, as they're telling you their story of pain, their sickness, I want you to now, in your mind, see them as, see their grievance, their pain, their sickness, see it as just an illusion in their mind. That's all it is. Separate their dream from them, the dreamer, in your mind's eye, in your awareness. It's like, see their sickness as just an illusion in their mind, maybe a film that is in their mind. And say to yourself, this person is not their ego. This person is not the sickness or the problem that they are sharing. There's their dream, and there's them, the dreamer, that is but dreaming this sickness, this problem. And say to yourself, this person is just like me, a mind that has accepted the ego. This is a mind in which illusions still persist. And this mind is my brother or my sister. This mind is my equal, my brother, my sister. This person is just like me. They are a mind in which illusions still persist. But they are not their ego, as I am not my ego. This person is not their mistakes, as I am not my mistakes. This person, see them in your mind's eye, they deserve loving correction for the illusions, the errors in their mind. Just like me, I deserve loving correction for my errors, my problems. And say to yourself, think to yourself, this is a mind that is my brother, my sister, my equal. They are not their ego, as I am not my ego. And now, what does this person look like to you, them, their mind, without their problem, without their sickness? They are not their sickness. They are a mind. Who do they really look like? Who they really are look like? Notice how beautiful their mind is. And give thanks for them. Give thanks to God. Give thanks to the universe for this person who has been sent you, that you might see them correctly as they really are. A mind in which illusion still persists, but a mind that is one with you. Thank God for them. For this person is your teacher and your healer. From your belief that you are your ego. Beautiful. And then just take another deep breath, and when you're ready, open your eyes, yawn and stretch. All right, you guys. Wonderful. Give it up for yourselves for coming and listening to something loving. Yay. Thank you guys for watching online. I appreciate you so much. All right, you guys.